And hello again, Internet. Now, this is going to be a bit of a different type of video for me. This is going to be a shorter one, basically just the review of this game to talk about it a bit and tell you what I think about it in particular. And that's because this game is not going to end up on YouTube, the playthrough of it, because like most street racing games, it uses licensed music. And this is the first game that actually got hit on Twitch for the licensed music. So there is no way it will survive YouTube's Content ID system. So I've turned the music off. You still have all the other sound effects and such. But in order to have some content on YouTube, because my last two games now are getting hit with the music thing, I'm going to go ahead and at least review Juiced 2 Hot Import Nights, which you can't buy anymore, so there's not a lot of point to reviewing it, but whatever. This is my channel, and I like to look at games that you obscure, harder to find games, and this is one of them. Now, I picked this up quite some time ago on Steam. In fact, I got it as part of a THQ bundle. I bought that bundle specifically mostly for Company of Heroes expansions and Dawn of War and its expansions. And the rest of the games I got with it were just a bonus. It was actually cheaper to buy this bundle on sale than it was to buy the games that I was looking for. And this is one of the games that was in it. It's not a good game. It really isn't overall. But we're going to go ahead and get racing, and I will talk about this. As you see, there are 10 leagues to go through, from rookie all the way up to elite. Now, I want to point out that each of these tiers unlocks more cars in the shop up to League 1. At this point, you have no extra cars to unlock, and we'll look at those. But we're just going to go ahead and do some quick races here. Let's actually get a decent length one so I can talk for a while. Nah, I don't want one of those. Don't want Extreme Nitro. Yeah, I know, I'm supposed to be doing this, and instead I'm just piddling around. This'll work. Gotta work. Okay. Wait, was that Extreme Nitro? Doesn't even matter. I backed out of it. Yeah, so Extreme Nitro, that's one of the things to talk about on this. Now, as you can tell, it is an urban street racing game. It focuses on drifting. It's one of the glut of Fast and Furious inspired titles from the mid-2000s. And it's not like drift racing started then. I mean, you've got Ridge Racer dating well before these. But that was where things really picked up overall. So, let's go ahead and get started here. And like many of the games from this era, this one isn't all that good. Give me a minute. I'm actually going to pause and reduce the game's volume here. There we go. It's not that much, but it's some. And I do also want to point out that... Oh, wow. Okay, good. I do want to point... Game, work with me here. It's having trouble coming back from not being the center of attention, like a lot of bad games do. There we go. Got it back. Yeah, that's one of the reasons it's too loud, is my actual game computer volume was too loud. I'm doing great in this review. You guys are learning a lot. But like many of the mid-2000s games, it was kind of rushed out, and it certainly feels it. This game has all kinds of hallmarks of they didn't have time to actually finish a lot of the stuff on it. Like, it's feature complete, but there are things that should have been done better. The physics of this are pretty awful, especially the controls. You're very prone to oversteering and overcorrecting. The enemy AI has a pretty bad rubber banding issue, as you can see here. I'm already caught up. They'll be behind me fairly quickly. You do have the nitro, which, as I'm sure you've noticed, this game seems to think nitro means rocket boosters, which is not really the case. In any car you drive, whenever you hit the nitro button, you get a large jet of flame coming out of your exhaust. It's fucking awful. Which kind of brings me to the aesthetics of this game. As I'm sure you've also noticed... Wow, I didn't get any nitro yet. You build up nitro by doing drifts. Yes, this game tries to get you to drift as much as possible, and the drifting mechanic sucks. I know I said I was going to talk about one thing, and instead I'm talking about something else. But as I'm sure you noticed in the menus and such, this game heavily relies on TNA. Lots of women models posing around, and honestly, it's more than a little gratuitous. I think it's extremely overkill, especially when all of the races have to have the model there with, you know, on the screen for telling you what the race is. I think that's probably where most of the budget for this game went. And of course, you can be a female driver in this, you're still going to get the TNA all over the place, because I guarantee you they didn't put any beefcake in. And of course, as for the aesthetics, this game has the urban street racing, generic, everyone kind of looks like a wannabe. Yeah, just a wannabe. That's the best word for it. The cars themselves, as you see, can have all the detailing and such, but as I'm sure you've also noticed, it's very low resolution. The thing is, the icons and the decals themselves are actually pretty high resolution when you go and look at them in the shop to apply them. They just get drastically downsampled as soon as you put them on the car. Now, I'll show you the visual options in this. They're sparse, to say the absolute least. They basically don't exist. You have one slider for speed and quality. And I've got it set to quality, and it's still doing this. And yes, this is a custom job I've done on this particular car. Oh shit. There's one right behind me already. Should probably win this race. So I'll go show you what some of the decals look like. Now, I'm going to say a lot of negative things about this game, and it is overall a bad game. But there are some positives that I will get into. So let's go ahead and take a look at customizing the cars. And all of the other drivers, all 8, I think, of them, maybe 10, have their own livery style that they like to use. So their cars will have that style to it. So we're going to go ahead and select this car and look at the visual mods. Now, where's the decals? There's the decals. As you see the visual mods, you do have some options. You can choose like what wheel or what, what I guess are the wheels. What little bit of variation in the license plate. You saw that my door has the, it swings up instead of outward, which is stupid, but whatever. I have a custom wing on here. Let's take a look at the decals. Now, the decals themselves come in packs. The basic packs here are unlocked from the beginning. Most of these are single color that once you, say most of them, then I go to this, that once you apply it, you can change the color, but you also have some like this that have various tears in them. And let's take a look at this one in particular. Notice how fairly detailed and crisp the bills look on this, right? Well, let's take a look at the car. There's what the decal looks like, and that's what it looks like when you put it on the car. Notice how immediately low res it gets. You can't make out the bills, any text on them anymore. They're just gone. And that happened as soon as you painted it on, because as you see, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yes, abandon changes. So I'll show you by taking one of these decals, the tear, and we'll do a galaxy tear here. And as you see, immediately it's a lower resolution than it was before. And as you see, you can rotate it, you can scale it, you can move it, you can mirror it, etc., etc. But this is not the decal that you see in the preview. Now, the problem I have with this is, hey Ollie, the problem I have with this is a game that focuses on the cars, the looks. It's an urban racing game. Being able to customize your car is what it's about. Well, let me show you. Here's what the skull there is supposed to look like. Notice the amount of detail, especially on the edges of it. And when you put it on the car, this is what you get. Notice how it just looks fuzzy. They flatten everything. Really low res, bad compression. It looks awful. A far cry from what it looks like here. And that's the true of every decal in this. I don't know why they have it like that. I don't know why it looks that bad. But there you go. And as I said, as an urban racing game, customizing your car, the liveries on it, making it look the way you really want it to look, should be one of the focuses. The car should look perfect, especially the decals you put on. This is PC. This is maximum settings. Yeah, maybe your PS1 is awful. That pretty much sums it up. This looks like a PS1 game. And yeah, this is as good a settings as it gets. And it's not just your car either, as I'll show you here. Take a look at my garage. This is a car from one that I took probably from Crystal. It looks like one of Crystal's cars. And just look at how fuzzy all the textures on it look. You can't really tell what most of that is. Got some others down here. You can barely read the text on this, or see the woman for that point. Look at that. Look at the text on these. Look at how bad this is. There's another one of Crystal's cars. And there's another one. The text is really bad. You've got company logos there that you can't even read. You can't even see what they are. What is the point of this? Why would you have this? One of Kiko's cars, obviously. Why would you have such low res? This is the focus of the game. These cars should, at all times, look as good as possible. These textures, you should be working to make as crisp and clean as can be, no matter what. Sacrifice graphics elsewhere in the game to make sure the car textures are perfect, because that's the focus of the game. One of the main focuses is the car. So let's go to another race here, and I'll talk about the AI a bit. I've already mentioned how the AI rubber bands significantly. It's pretty bad how much it rubber bands. Another problem that we have is just flat out the execution for some of this stuff. You have 10 tiers of classes to go through as far as going up ranking in the game, getting new cars, new stats, which, by the way, your car is basically irrelevant because you buy gear for the car that sets everyone at basically the same level. Nothing you can do here is place bets. Where's Bobby? So that car was Leon's. Here's Bobby. I'm going to place a bet with him. He is going to double it because he's Bobby. You can see that they have this driver DNA that you can make out generally what they're going to do. I have enough money to do anything in the game. So you see he really likes to gamble. It's way up. He's also not a very good driver. So let's do it. I mean, he's a decent driver, but he's not one of the better ones. The thing is, this is it for the drivers. As you go up the ranks, they always come with you. No matter what tier you race at, you are racing against this group of drivers, regardless. And it will always be this group of drivers. And I think that's pathetic. I think there should be more drivers, better drivers, as you go up the rank. Because another thing it does is it makes your gaming experience absolutely flat. You'll also notice that there's a little bar showing up over him as I'm driving behind him. Well, that little meter right there you go. Spooked. I just spooked him by driving behind him long enough. What that does is it takes control away from him, the computer driver, causes him to kind of swerve a bit and get out of your way. That might be the worst mechanic I've ever seen in a racing game, and it's even more laughable with something else, which I will show you in a bit. You also might have just noticed those tires bouncing out at me. Well, that's because of another programming. I'm going to call it a glitch, an error. It's a workaround that's not a very good workaround. You see, what happened there is one of the AI drivers hit the wall and caused the tires to spill out. However, because it wasn't in your view and it wasn't nearby, they didn't actually bounce out. They don't do that until you can see it, you approach it. So what it ends up happening on a race like this is you'll be driving along and suddenly tires flying onto the track for no reason. And it looks fucking awful. And that sums this game up so well. Everything about this is fucking awful. It looks awful. It's executed badly. It's just terrible. You have the various leagues. You can get a car that you can take up through the leagues to a degree. Let's go ahead and take a look at what cars are available. I'm going to go ahead and buy a new car. I won't bother painting it. It takes really too long to go through the painting, and it doesn't look that good anyway. So we go to the dealership, and you can choose what dealer you want. And I'm sure you'll notice there's a few noticeable gaps here as I go up through. There's no Lamborghini, no Ferrari, no Porsche. And that's because this game has damage modeling, and those companies don't like damage modeling. They want their cars to be perfect. Well, fuck them. They get left out then. Here's the most expensive car in the game. It's the one that I've been driving. But again, it doesn't really matter because anything that has that 99.9 at the top there is going to perform basically the same. Because you can just buy the parts for them up there and you'll have the stats maxed out. Regardless of what you buy. This Plymouth Barracuda 440, it's got to be a 70s car, probably. I don't know it exactly because it doesn't give the date. But this thing will outperform that Koenigsegg. And I'm sure I mispronounced that name. It'll outperform this V12 Vanquish. And that should not happen. Let's be honest here. Anyway, I'm going to go down. I'm going to buy that Lotus because I don't have one of these yet. And I actually want a Lotus, which again, as you can see, I can bring it all the way up to the top tier if I wanted to. What I'm going to do, though, is show off one of the actual good things in this game. So right now, go to Performance Mods. Right now, this car is a League 3 car. I guess I've already done League 3 stuff. So I'm going to go up to League 4 here. And you can actually choose which stuff here. It'll make it cheaper if you have the sticker for them. I mean, other than that, it makes no difference. All of these parts are the exact fucking same. The only reason their name is in there is because they paid Juiced Studios. Yes, the studio named the game after themselves. Amazing. And this is the only one that really matters. Notice how much higher it brings up my ranking up there. Like, that's the thing that brought me up to League 2. That and that alone. So, what are these locked ones here? These are special challenges to unlock. And once you've unlocked it, it's unlocked for every car of that tier. You just have to unlock it per tier. This I like. This is actually something interesting. So let's go ahead and check this out. We're going to go do some of these lap time challenge here. It also has visual mods you can unlock. I was talking about the decals and some of the stuff like the doors that swing up. You have to unlock the ability to buy those. And you get those by doing specific challenges, and I'll show you those as well. But you also have prototype gear, which prototype is only available to your car if your car is at its highest possible tier, which, you know, for a lot of the high-end cars means that Elite League, and means any car that can see Elite League can put on the prototype gear and thus basically be maxed out for Elite League. Which is why I say you have any number of cars up there that all perform the exact freaking same effectively. It's all just a matter of what it looks like. This car can get up there, can buy those prototype parts, and be on par with any of the other cars up there. There's nothing to stop that from happening. Might not make this just because I didn't have enough boost throughout. 5, 6, 7. Oh, good, I barely made it. Had just enough boost. So there, I've now unlocked the ability to buy the Tier 2 for any car. Why would I ever buy the Tier 2? You don't get a discount for owning the Tier 2 if you buy the Tier 3. So generally what you do is you just skip Tier 2, go straight to Tier 3, which I have to unlock now. And these things all unlock the same type of way. All the Tier 3s that aren't prototypes unlock the same way. Beat Car Challenge. You basically are given a head start, and you have to beat a car that is one tier higher than yours. And there's Driver X. Yes, my character looks like a douche. I made him look like a douche. Because everyone in this game should look like a douche. So if you're doing this shit, you're a douche. Okay, so he's off now. He's already behind me. So I have to... And he's ahead of me. Yep, I'm not beating him. Because, again, his car is better than mine. Oh, there we go. No, I passed him. His car is better than mine. Just no way around it. Get off me. Get off me. Get off me. Ugh, I have to beat him on the curves up here. There's no way around it. If I can. I might not be able to. I don't think I will. Because anytime he gets on a straightaway, he's just going to outpace me. Don't let him pass. Don't let him pass. Oh, gotta be careful about hitting those. They will slow you down and slightly adjust your steering. Hey, I won. I can't believe I managed to keep up and actually get past him again. Usually that doesn't happen once they're in front of you because they're better cars. But I beat him on the turns. So there you go. That's how you unlock the Tier 3s. And that's what you're going to buy every time is a Tier 3. You're not going to worry about the Tier 2s. Now, every car I have at League 2 can get the Tier 3 upgrade there. We can all buy the Tier 3 power pack. And as you see, it's only like 500 difference between them. So, okay, so what do we see over here? We have this pair of sunglasses. That's my visual mods. And we have the little gear with a bolt in it. That's the prototype mods. And we unlock those by doing various challenges in the races. If I go to races here, I'm just going to go back up to this one. You see we have challenges. And you have to unlock a special number of challenges to move up to the next one. And as you see, if I do the Tokyo Eliminator Championship, I will unlock a token to buy another prototype thing. Anything else here? Yeah, this one, if I score 400,000 points in a drift endurance event, that means getting 4 million. That means getting 4 million points in a single drift. The drift mechanics in this game are awful. I know there's people who can do it, but not me. No, it's terrible. Just get 50 million drift points total. That's actually not too hard to just play long enough, basically. This one I've got airtime total. There's a spectator bet. I literally don't know how to do this. I guess you choose it. Alright, well, let's try this then. This is my first time doing this one. I've never done this. I've never done a spectator bet. I have never figured out how to do it. But apparently clicking on the spectator bet means now I have to go make a bet with somebody. Because I'm not racing now. So I need to place a bet on who's going to win. I'm going to say Tyrone. And it said what? I needed 300,000 for it? What are the odds? Bet 100, you win 700. I'm not going to win this. It's not going to happen. It's a 7-1. But let's do it. Oh, wait. Can I just bet on everybody? Haha, I could, but it wouldn't do any good. Because I bet 100, I win 40. So she's the safe bet here. Alright, now again, I've never done a spectator bet, so this is something new for me. We're trying this out. We are now watching... that's not the one I wanted to watch. I have no idea what I'm doing with this. I'm trying to freak her out, I guess. And there's 3 laps here, so... like, she's not the one I wanted to look at. It's Tyrone that I wanted to... oh, there we go. So I can cheer him on. And hopefully he'll do better. I'm going to cheer him on once we're past this. Yeah, okay. You can kind of sort of influence him. This is terrible. Like, this might be my new worst part of the game. If I'd known this, I would have gone and booed the other guy. You can do it right here, man. Do it, do it, do it. Oh, that's it for my interaction. So now I got to put the controller down and just talk for a while. Yeah, I don't like... I don't like the controls in this. I don't like the looks. I mean, okay, graphically it actually does... oh, hey, I can do this again. Oh, nice. Yeah, maybe I can just boo this guy until he loses. Alright, so it isn't just... it is per lap. I'm glad I used him up last time then. But yeah, like, the stages themselves do look really good. I mean, look at the ice down here, which, you know, your cars should be sliding around a lot more than this. But they don't. They will on the drift events, and we'll go through a drift event. And I'll show you just how bad some of those can be. But the AI has some pretty bad rubber banding. You have crew races where you hire a driver, and they'll either use one of your cars if you have one available, or they'll just grab their own if you don't, so you don't even have to get a car for them. You might have seen that there are pink slip races. Yes, you can wager your car to win others, and they do have some anti-cheat in this, where they have it set up in such a way that when you enter the race, your wager is saved. Then it only saves... I'm trying to think right now how to properly do this. Wait, you mean I don't have to bet right away? I can actually bet in the middle of the freaking race? That is so stupid. Yeah, this game is just distracting me from how bad it is. Yeah, a quick review. Freaking half an hour so far, and I'm not even done. Because I'm an idiot. I even forgot what I was saying about... Oh, God, yes. The crew races. At least if you had... Oh, no, I was talking not the crew races. I was talking about the betting. Yeah, so when you bet right away, it's... When you start the race, it saves what your bet is. It only then saves the result at the end. So if something happens to your save, or to you, like say you Alt F4 out because you don't like the result, it'll actually screw you even harder, because generally the opponents will have the car and you can potentially win it back. But if you do it that way, nobody won. So the car is gone. That did happen to me because oh god, don't fuck up, man. Don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. That did happen to me because I did lose a car that I should not have, and I Alt F4'd to try it out. Look at that. Make 300,000 profit. Not even a 300,000 bet. 300,000 profit. Well, I just made a couple million on that, so. Wow. Okay, so that's how you do that. That's interesting. Let's go to a drift event real quick. So yeah, that is actually good too. The fact that it saves it like that to try to prevent cheating, that's cool. I'm glad it does that. Drift event. These are going to be terrible. What have I got up here for a drift event? Not a championship. Good God. Let's find a drift obliterator. Where is a drift obliterator? There we go. Drift obliterator. Now what these are drift races. So I have to perform a certain point value every lap or get eliminated, but I still have to win the race. However, welcome to drift mechanics. Remember I was complaining about how the ice was still treated just like normal race blacktop? Well, here's what blacktop is like when you are in a drift race. Yes, I immediately break free. I'm immediately drifting. You cannot not drift in this. And the drift mechanics are terrible. And your only value how many points you get, even if you're chaining really, the only value is your speed and your angle. So there you see I'm at 90 degrees, I'm getting the most. And, you know, like you're supposed to feather the controller to try to control it. It doesn't work as well as they want it to. Later games, I'm going to say this straight up. If you want to play a game like this, go get Grid. Grid is a superior game in every aspect. Every aspect. It races better, it has better cars, the AI is better, it drifts better. You don't have the liveries, but this game's suck, so you're not out much. Of course, that one's also not a urban street race, so that's an actual racing game, but still. And again, you don't have the map, you can barely tell where your opponents are, but you are racing. You are actually racing right now. You need to stay in first place while you can barely control your car. Two more laps of this crap. So I guess what's left is to talk about the end game. Now, as I mentioned, as you're working up through the ranks, you unlock extra cars, all the way up to League 1. And it's actually a shame that that's where that ends, because that is a good, reward system. New cars, new stuff to do, that's pretty cool. However, it stops at League 1, and at that point, the only things left to unlock are more of those tokens for visual performance, for visual stuff, or the prototype. Now, hopefully, you've saved for the prototype ones, because it's 4 per tier that can do it. Hopefully, you've saved 4 of the prototype ones for the last league, because that's how you're just going to do that league. You're just going to unlock all the prototypes. It costs about $600,000 to put all 3 plus the prototype Nitro, which this car has, and all that does is lets you into events where that's allowed. And that one, the Nitro, just constantly refills so you can lean on it. So you're going to save 4 prototypes for that. Unlock those, be done with it. You can't unlock any new cars. They're already done. You've got all of them. When you finally get to the part where you can beat the game, the last promotional event unlock to become the world champion, and I will show you what that is. I'm not going to race it. It takes about 20 minutes because it's 4 races. 3 or 4 races. See, HIN Elite. It's this first one here. This is not available until you unlocked it. And as you see, you need a prototype. It's an endurance race. You need a supercar, and you need the Extreme Nitro. It says down there 500,000 or 5.8 million at this point. The first time I ran it, notice that like right here, no prize money anymore. The more you race, very little prize money. So I didn't even notice that before. I thought you could actually get full price on it still. No. The more you race, the lower the prize money gets. You have to rely on betting. This thing, at least, the first time you beat it, gave 11 million. That gives you enough to do basically anything in the game. As you see, I've got 26 million cash on hand. And you can sell the cars, too. In fact, that's one of the things you can do, is you can buy a car, earn a bunch of money in it, the car becomes more valuable, you can sell it and rebuy it. It's dumb, but you can do that. Then, when you finally beat that last one, when you've worked your way all the way up to the top, you spend the 20 minutes on that last race, which, because it's an Extreme Nitro, is extremely fucking easy, because you just lean on the Nitro and win, because the opponents don't do it. So once you've done that, once you've completed the game, as easy as it is, you are rewarded with a splash screen featuring some women. That's it. That's all you get. Congratulations, you win. As if this were a freaking Nintendo game or arcade game from the 70s and 80s. You don't unlock any new cars. You don't get unlimited unlocks, anything like that. You just get a splash screen. This game is terrible. It fails on the most basic levels. The car graphics should be one of the focus of the visual effects. They should sacrifice elsewhere. The cars look like crap. The aesthetics for the characters look like a handful of douchebags. As you see, I got Driver X sitting behind me. He's one of the guys on my crew. He cost $1 million. The other one there is Rebecca. She's $150,000. Those are the 2 best ones. There is no point in ever getting any others besides those 2. They will win everything for you. The way those races are done is they only care about who the last person on the team finishes. So it's comparing what finishing positions the last person on the teams are. So I take those 2, I let them get first and second, and I try to make sure that I keep everyone else off their back. Because they'll actually race first and second, no problem. You get them out away from the other cars, they're gone. They win. I don't mind being in third, because remember, the rubber banding is to you. That's why you want to stay in third place, or second if there's only 2, because then your partner is way out front. Because the cars don't rubber band to him. In fact, if they get ahead of you, they'll slow down, making it even easier for your teammate to win. But that's not the only AI problem. Oh, God, no. Oh, no, that couldn't possibly be the only AI problem. Remember I showed you that spook mechanic? Let's see what that actually looks like in a race. This is last man standing. It's a normal race, but if you hit the wall or any barriers, you're automatically eliminated. I think you can see where this is going. This is the worst type of racing I've seen because of that bad mechanic. Because this game encourages you to do this. Alright, so I waited a little bit off the line. Now I'm going to drive up behind Crystal here and just drive behind her cautiously. Nope, nope, she's out anyway. Oh, Crystal's out. She hit the wall. She bounced off it. But I'm going to go up to Bobby here, and this game encourages you to just drive cautiously behind them. Hey, Bobby. Hey, Bobby. Bobby has been spooked. Bobby hit the wall. Hi, Tara. How you doing today? Nice day for a cruise, isn't it? I mean, I could rush to try to get past you. She just hit the wall. Okay, somebody hit the wall up there and wasn't eliminated. What the hell? You saw the sparks flying. Oh, I guess it was flying that way. Okay. Kiko. Come back here, Kiko. Want to play with you. No, I guess Kiko's going to pass Tamara here. All right, well, Tamara. Kiko, welcome back. So I'm going to come up behind Kiko. Oh, I'm out. I clipped the wall there. Whatever. Whatever. You saw the problem there. That's what you do. You drive behind them until you spook them into the wall, and you just do this over and over and over again. It's that bad. There's so many things this game could do better. It could continue to unlock things all the way up to the top tier. It could get rid of that really bad fucking... That's the first time that Cars lost a race. It could get rid of that really bad tire bouncing thing. That just looks awful. It has no bearing. It looks awful. And something that looks that bad should have been gotten rid of. Straight up. They really could have cut the focus on the TNA. It's just more than gratuitous, especially to, you know, okay, it probably wasn't seen as bad back then, and, you know, our sensibilities are getting more and more sensitive to it, but it was gratuitous even then. It doesn't belong in this game. If it were Saints Row, it would belong in that game, no problem. Because, again, they're trying to legitimize street racing. Which the entire point of street racing is it's not legit. It's very not legit. It's underground. The company that made this game, the development studio, Juiced Games, I think they only actually made Juiced and Juiced 2 before THQ rolled them into another studio and then dissolved it entirely a couple years before THQ went under. Rights for this game weren't really picked up by anyone. Developers don't know what else they went on to do. This game is a relic of a bad time when Fast and the Furious, the worst elements of the Fast and the Furious craze, was at its absolute peak on video games, and utter shit like this was being churned out. And this might be one of the worst examples of it. No, it's not the worst example of it. There are ones that are just unfucking playably bad. This one was at least playable. And there are some good features here. They just didn't dive into them far enough. I like the unlockables. I wish you could continue unlocking in the higher tiers. I would like to have seen more cars unlock in those last two tiers. I would like to have seen something, a cheat mode, anything unlock when you beat the game. I do want to make some notes here as well. This game uses Games for Windows Live when you're doing it on PC. My version doesn't do that, potentially because I went in and hacked with a hex editor. I changed some values in the exe, so this is a modified exe. First thing I did is adjust the widescreen so that instead of stretching a 4:3, it is actually properly 16:9. You have to hex edit the exe to do that, but you can do it. I also unlocked the frame rate from 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second. You'll notice that there's been some screen tearing on that. This game does not have a VSync option on its own. I'd have to go through my drivers or a external program to do that, and I just didn't care enough. Because it's Games for Windows Live, and my Games for Windows Live isn't activated on it, that means that I don't get the achievements for unlocking things, which is a shame because I would have liked to have gotten more achievements. I like my gamer score. And your save is tied to your account. Since this one doesn't have an account, my save is tied to blank. It also means that I can't do the online stuff, which I couldn't do anyway because I don't have a gold account. Well, I don't think that would matter on the PC version. But as you see, I can't even select live. I can't select the live custom rates, the live career. That might even be because those are down. In fact, it would not surprise me if these servers are down because, well, THQ is out of business. This company's out. The extras are where the options is. And again, leaderboards, they're down. So I go to the options here. There's my graphics options. Performance, quality. That's it. I'd tell you not to buy this game, but you can't anyway. The only other good thing to come out of this is I honestly believe that Hot Import Nights should be a joke sequel subtitle right up there with Electric Boogaloo. So that's one thing to know about. There you go. That's Juice 2 Hot Import Nights. I did do a full playthrough of it. It's not on YouTube because of Content ID. Because even though the music was licensed, the companies want to double dip and say, no, you have to pay us too. Fuck them. And to hell with this game. It's done. So there you go, YouTube. You got a review at least. No music. I know, it sucks. Trust me, you're not missing much. The music in this isn't very good either. But at least it's there. It's background music. It's all it needs to be. I am going to be formatting my computer today. So hopefully I'll get everything back up and running by the time I'm supposed to record again on Friday. I shouldn't have a problem with that, but you never know. Especially since I'm having to use a disk I burned from an ISO I downloaded from Microsoft's site. And I don't know if I'll still be able to get the Windows 10 upgrade. Because I got the free upgrade and I never got like a key or anything from it in my emails. It just upgraded. I don't know if that's still a thing. I hope so. It's got to be a way to do it. But we'll see what happens. Until next time, Internet, take care and enjoy the games you play.